Mr. Lambert, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning. Give us your name and your DOC number, please.
My name is Craig Lambert. My DOC number, I think,
Give me your date of birth. That'll be fine.
5/05/1963.
All right, sir. My name is Pearl Wise, and to my left is Mr. Marabella, and to my right is Mr. Roche. We comprise your panel this morning. Let me explain the process to you. I'm going to read some information in the record, and then afterwards, we're going to conduct the interview with you, starting with Mr. Roche. We have one speaker today, Mr. Randall Myers from the ADA's office in Orleans Parish. He'll be speaking at the appropriate time. And also, again, we're going to ask Ms. Morton from the facility to give us an update as to how you've been doing. And after all the testimony has been taken, we're going to give you an opportunity to make a statement. Tell us whatever you want us to know, and then we'll vote. Do you understand the process?
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, let me read the information, then we'll start the interview. Craig N. Lambert, your DOC numbers, huh?
I didn't hear you.
Oh, yes, sir. The number is 395735. That's your DOC number. Your offender class is listed as sixth offender. Your current offense is possession with the intent to distribute of cocaine, habitualized. You were sentenced on June 23rd of 2021 to 8 years hard labor without the benefit of probation or a suspension of sentence. Your parole eligibility date is listed as July the 7th of 2022. You do not earn good time, and your full term date is listed as July the 8th of 2028. Does that sound about right? Is that correct?
Yes, except
right,
for thing, I was sentenced as a second offender, but y'all have me listed as a sixth offender.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you're habitualized. I mean, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we do.
Okay.
Would you answer, Mr. Roche?
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Good morning, Mr. Lambert.
Good morning, Mr. Roche.
Mr. Lambert, you're currently 59 years old.
Yes, sir.
You've been classified as a sixth felony offender. You've been arrested over 20 times in your criminal career.
Correct.
That's about right, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so tell me about the programs that you completed in the 2.5 years you've been incarcerated this time.
Okay. As far as any programs that at this particular facility, I have enrolled in a program, but haven't been successful in taking any classes. I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know what the procedure is in which they use, but I myself has been taking upon myself to reform myself, you know.
Now, I see that you were convicted in June of 21. You got the riverbed in July of 21. So you've been there about 18 months. And you say you requested programs, but you've not been put in any programs at all?
No, it's just a backup. They have a cafeteria here where they let people come to school at, and they have one teacher which I've seen. If I was to use my opinion is that they really can't accommodate everybody for classes.
Okay. Now, how many disciplinary write-ups have you received since July 2021?
Well, I have one write-up. A guard that works here, he took a life.
Sir, what was the write-up for?
It was for $1. What had happened was I had got jumped on by some youngsters, and they had to pack my stuff up, and they found $1 under my mattress. Well, the guard had gave me to buy me some snacks off the machine. And the guy had just worked here, he just started working here, so he wrote me up, but then he had found out that inmates be having money that other guards give them.
Okay, so what was the write-up for? Contraband?
$1.
Did you plead guilty?
Yes, because if the dollar
What was the penalty for the write-up?
was 3 days in the SAG, but I wound up staying in there 60 days because of my broken jaw and my fractured face.
Okay, and how did you get a broken jaw?
The day they found the dollar, some inmates had jumped on me, and because I talked to the guards and they said that I was some kind of informer or something like that.
Okay, and when did you get this write-up?
I think it was on January 17th of 2022.
So about a year ago,
Yes, sir.
you pleaded guilty and you were found guilty.
Well, the dollar was in my property.
Okay.
And I told them how, they asked me how did I get the dollar, and I told them about how I got the dollar.
Did the guard that gave you the dollar testify that he gave you the dollar?
Yeah, he didn't
Okay.
deny it.
You denied it.
He didn't deny it.
Okay, and you were still found guilty.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
thank you.
it is considered contraband for me to
Okay.
have the dollar.
I understand that. Is that the only write-up that you have?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me about the active warrant for distribution of cocaine in St. Charles Parish.
What about it, sir?
Tell me about it. You have an active warrant for your arrest in St. Charles Parish. Tell me about that.
I'm a diabetic, and my sugar went up on me going from New Orleans to Houma. And I went off the road. I was unconscious and I got T-boned. And upon searching my vehicle, they found drugs in it.
And you were in possession with cocaine. Am I right?
And he's just a talker.
We can't hear you.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. It was like a slurred speech. I'm speaking loud enough now?
Yes. Okay. And
The
they
coke-
found
The
they
coke,
found cocaine. They found cocaine in your car. Am I right?
yes, sir.
And a quantity that they charged you with distribution. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
How much cocaine did you have in your car?
Probably about 3 grams.
And why were you going to Bogaloo or Thibodeau?
I was going to Houma. Yeah,
Houma?
yeah. That's where I lived at.
Okay. So, tell me about your supervision history. How many times have you been revoked?
Revoked on what?
Revoked because you didn't do exactly what you're supposed to do while you were on supervision.
Never. Probably about one time when I first had probation. When my first charge, I had probation. My probation was revoked.
Okay. Now, Mr. Lambert, I need the truth. You were revoked in 1999. You were revoked in 2003, and you were revoked in 2019.
I can't hear you. I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I don't hear you.
No. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
You were revoked 3 times.
Oh, I was revoked 3 times?
Yes.
I thought I was just revoked on my probation. I just had probation one time.
You were revoked in 1999. You were revoked in 2003, and then again in 2019. So why can't you follow rules and regulations and do what you're supposed to do when you're on supervision?
Well, when I was that was some years ago, and I must admit that I wasn't in compliance, and I was lawless, and I reformed myself from being lawless like that, and I've been trying to do better and put laws around me to protect me, you know, and be responsible for what I'm supposed to do. I'm more responsible. I have an attitude of being more responsible now than what I was back then. I was younger and I've matured now.
Over the years, Mr. Lambert, you've been arrested 10 times for either possession or distribution of cocaine.
Yes, sir.
Repeatedly, time after time after time. You're a 6th felony offender. Why should this panel vote to release you when you're only going to do the same thing again?
Well, I don't think that I'm as lawless as I was back then. I think that I've learned my lesson and that I've reformed myself. I'm not the man that I was back then.
But you haven't received any programming for substance abuse. You have no. How can you rehabilitate yourself without any good time classes? Okay.
Yeah, I'm again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. And then that's true. I haven't received any substance abuse classes from this state, but I have when I was in federal custody. I was in the RDAP program. But if I can get into a substance abuse class, as I speak to you, I'm willing. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help to contribute to me being reformed. No,
the Jefferson Parish DA office is strongly opposed, and you have a moderate risk assessment, which tells us that you're going to reoffend again. Madam Chairman.
well,
So, hello, can you hear me now?
yes.
I have one question. So were you a drug dealer, a drug user, or both?
I was both. I was chemical dependent, and I used to sell to try to keep my prescription filled. But if you can help me in any way.
Thank you. I thank you. So since you've been a diabetic, have you still been using drugs?
No, I found out I was a diabetic in 2015.
Okay.
And I've been clean for about the last 5 years. You know, including the times I've been incarcerated, I've been clean.
So you're dealing since 2015 with drugs. It's simply to sell it. That's all you've been doing.
Yeah.
So what about your when you went into DOC, you said you were on disability. What were you on disability for? You said you were
I suffered from mental problems. And with me being a diabetic, and I've been under the knife 2 times. I had been cut open 2 times. I had surgery 2 times, and it had something with my ability to function.
So were you getting SSI disability, or were you just stated you were getting SSI disability?
Yes.
When did that start?
It started years ago.
But as a child?
I started having mental problems. I started having mental problems when in like the 90s.
Okay, your 90s. Okay, so you were in your 30s, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was chemical dependent. I was trying to self-prescribe myself drugs instead of taking the medicine that I was supposed to be in compliance with what the doctors was giving me.
Okay, I got you. Mr. Roche has another question.
Mr. Lambert,
Yes, sir.
I want you to listen. You just told Ms. Wise that you hadn't used any drugs since 2015 when you found out you were diabetic.
No. Yeah, I said it.
Okay, so let me read your rap sheet to you. In June of 2018, possession with intent to distribute cocaine within 2,000 feet of a school. Possession of drug paraphernalia, June 2018. Possession of less than 28 ounces, August of 18. Possession with intent to distribute cocaine, December 18. In July 2020, possession with intent to distribute cocaine. You cannot tell me with 5 or 6 arrests between 2015 and 2020, you did not use drugs.
No, I was selling.
You were using also. Thank you, Ms. Wise.
Mr. Mayor. Okay, thank you. Oh, the staff left. Oh, my goodness. We should have stopped and got her while she went. Oh, great. Good idea. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Mr. Lambert, as we wait on Ms. Martin to come back and tell us what she wants us to know about how you've been doing. Tell us what, I'm sorry, we can hear from Mr. Myers at this time.
Good morning, Randy Meyer, Assistant DA Jefferson Parish. We're opposed. I was going to point out a lot of the things that Mr. Roche had pointed out. 5 cocaine arrests since 2015. He was revoked numerous times. I believe 2 of the terminated unsatisfactory on supervision in 21 because of additional cocaine arrests and convictions. No programming. He definitely needs some substance abuse treatment. And the moderate risk assessment is very concerning to me. It's rare that I see a moderate risk assessment. They're almost always low. So when I see one that's moderate, it really puts up a red flag. So we're opposed to his request for parole.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. So, Mr. Lambert, is there anything you want us to know before we vote? What you want to tell us?
Well, I would appreciate your assistance in helping me get to a program and a facility that can help me out for me being a diabetic and my mental illness. If you could assist me in those areas.
Well, thank you. The panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr. Roche?
Mr. Lambert, a long history of drug abuse and drug arrests based upon opposition from the DA's office, opposition from law enforcement, a poor supervision history, and an extensive criminal background. You've been convicted of 6 felonies. Our vote is to deny your request.
Thank you, Mr. Roche. Mr. Marabella?
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Please wait a minute. Ms. Mattis, I'm so sorry. You're back in the room. We want to try Ms. Martin. We want to be respectful of your schedule. Is anything you want us to know about Mr. Lambert for the record?
I don't really know too much about Mr. Lambert.
All right, thank you. Ms. Marabella.
Thank you. My vote is the same as Mr. Roche's for the same reason.
All right, Mr. Lambert, You're 60 years old. I don't need to tell you that. You're at an age now where you have to really start facing some things. And
Yes.
I really do. You really do. I just encourage you to write DOC because you did a lot of writing and you got your insulin and all that stuff worked out. Use that same channel to write and request, DOC for what you want. My vote is to deny for the reasons I already stated on the record. But again, I want to encourage you to make the request through DOC for the programs that you're asking for. Best wishes to you. Your parole has been denied today.